What's going on, everybody? This is Flash of Samurai with my brother Rakim, aka Rakimism. This is the Project and Reflect podcast.
A podcast for creatives, by creatives, and today we talked about gatekeeping and what it takes to get into a creative field.
Yeah, man, so please stick around. It's going to be a great conversation. Cool intro starts now. I think nowadays, for me, because I'm in a collective, I try to do shit that makes sense for us instead of like just doing shit just because there's shit to do, if that makes sense. Yeah, there's a bag, but like we've been making bags, so it's like if we're gonna make a bag, let's also make an impact, if that makes sense. I don't like just, oh, we got money for you over here, we got money for you over here. And it's just like, okay, cool. There's these money grabs and stuff like that. But like, one, what are you doing with the bag? And two, what impact are you making? You know what I'm saying? By being here, by being in this space, by being around these people. You know what I'm saying? Who are you touching? Like, how is it, you know what I'm saying, conducive into moving forward,
I just was about to ask, do you feel like you're at the part in your career where every opportunity has to have money attached to it? Or is there any opportunity out there? And if so, what does it look like for money not to really be the topic of conversation?
Well, money has to be involved at this point, just because bills don't give a shit about what you're doing. Bills need money.
Does that make you say then that finances and where you're at in your life right now is the driving force behind your music? No,
hell no. I still do music because like it's something I wake up and really want to do, like, you know what I mean? Every day I wake up, it's just like, this is still my calling. I still like feel how I feel about music, and like from day one when I first started, like, you know what I mean? Once it stops being like fun, then I'm gonna stop, I'm sure, or you know what I'm saying, or pick something up for a while to see if it comes back. But as far as like the driving force for music, I've seen the type of money that it has been able to get for me and for us, you know what I'm saying? When you touch commas, you know what I'm saying, for doing what it is that you're doing now, you're in a different ballpark, you're in a different like mindset about it. It's like everything now seems reachable, you know what I mean? Because just 2-3 years ago, little $300 show seemed like, you know what I mean, like we was moving for real, you know what I mean? And now you start to touch a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, as your reputation grows. And as like you get recognized in these different spaces, you're now like, okay, well, here we are, my nigga. Let's move forward and let's actually put like some real deal effort behind what it is that we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, shit. You know what it's like, bro. You know when you was like getting $40 for picking up the camera.
Definitely do.
You know what I'm saying? And now you able to like really like get your shit off, your calendar is filled up, all of these are paid fucking shoots, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, you're not doing nothing for a look no more, you are the look. You know what I mean? Once you get to a certain standpoint, when the dude's like working with, oh, you got your shit done by him, oh shit, you might be alright. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's looking like now in this climate, especially in Jax, because we don't have no real like staples. But when you do something for a long time and you do something for, you know what I mean, with a certain type of quality, you know what I mean? Like, you do shit with a certain type of quality. Love Coaches does shit with a certain type of quality. Wade Sailor do shit with a certain type of quality. So now when you do, stupid. So now when you do these things and people notice and somebody else is involved with it, you know what I mean? Other people are now looking at that person like, oh, you're doing shit with them? Or you doing shit with Rakim? Oh, shit, you might be all right.
Well, something, too, that makes me think about that, aside from the notoriety, is recently I've been able to, just from circumstance and experience, learning, really seeing what the value of an hour is to an artist, photographer specifically, speaking from myself, seeing what that hour is worth, because you know what it takes to go home and work on, edits and so forth, or pre-production, getting a location, lighting, equipment, things like that, seeing what an hour is worth and being able to look at an invoice or speak to an opportunity and say no or yes, or I'll need this to make this amount of quality, this quality happen.
Yeah.
That's all the more motivation for me.
Wow.
It's not always about, the collaboration or where your name is mentioned at, but just seeing I can genuinely put my worth and this stamp on this amount of time spent. That's what's really shown me my growth.
And to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, once you, as an artist, do 2K for 45 minutes,
right?
Now you kind of are like looking at it like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? I just did 2 weeks of work for 1,600.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? I just clocked in 2 weeks straight for 1,600, and now I just did 45 minutes, $2,000 in 45 minutes.
Absolutely.
Like, come on, yo! Like the difference, and once you start elevating and start noticing those differences, it's just kind of like, what am I doing here?
What's even more of a push is when clients that are interested in you, or even people that are interested in working with you, whether that might be in the form of collaboration or somebody you look up to, them respecting what you're asking for, so that you can show up and meet at the same playing field, same bar.
Right.
That's what's even more encouraging,
because they understand and they know, and they have. And your values lie in a different place than mine do when it comes to creating. You know what I mean? The goal is the goal for, like, what I'm saying, is to be able to feed yourself off of this. Like, you know what I mean? That's the goal. But what motivates you and what motivates me is just a little bit different in a sense.
How would you say?
That notoriety is important to me, because if you know, that means you're gonna pay.
Okay.
You feel me? That means that my price is my price. And you can't play with me about no price. You feel me? I stand fully firm on shit like that. You know what I mean? You can't waver on this side or that side, because you don't know. When you seen it on stage, you know. When you look at your photos, you know. When you look at how people react to your photos, you know. You know what I mean? So there's no middle anything. You either gonna do it or you not.
I get that. I guess in my field, I can look at an opportunity and kind of gauge, if I do this, if I provide these photos at this event that I'm actually interested in, that I would like to be part of my portfolio, and I know in the audience I have this demographic, I have this amount of outreach, then I can kind of weigh, you know what I mean, and project that I'll get these people to come on with me later by doing this, providing this amount of work for them. So it's a little bit different, I'd say.
It would be, yeah. Putting yourself in those type of situations, does it make that easier to network for you? To talk to other people about how to, you know what I'm saying? Even when it's just photographer on photographer type, is it easy for you to spread certain knowledge to certain people?
I'd say it is.
Are you a good teacher?
Am I a good teacher? I'm not hyper focused on somebody learning from me. So I think that helps me naturally teach without necessarily just worrying about ego, or I think I'd say I am, just because I'm not really focused on if you're listening to me or things like that. I'm really speaking from experience. I'm speaking from, honestly, the mistakes that I don't want people listening to me to make. So I'd say that that's effective. What would you say your teaching style is?
I think I'm more so of a teach through experience type of person.
Okay.
I like to show people, like I like to bring people to the studio. I like to set up writing sessions. I like to do like certain things. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to learn from me, I have no issue with people learning from me. It's with me is you have to understand my thinking to be able to learn from me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Student? My ideal student is somebody who's like hungry for real. Because when you're hungry, however you got to do to get, you know what I'm saying, a meal, you're going to do it. Hold on, we're loading up. Yeah. Pause for the refill. But yeah, no, teaching isn't. To be a good teacher, you got to be a good learner. Bottom line.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I have
no problem with learning.
I have no problem with learning either, especially when it's from like people who have more experience than me.
Right.
Not even necessarily older. You could be younger than me with more experience. Yeah, no, just you gotta just be able to listen and shut the fuck up sometimes, like, you know.
So on that same topic, have you found more or better experience networking in town or out of town?
I think out of town has always been a little bit better for me because it's Jacksonville, Florida when we're here. And Jacksonville has, I don't want to say we have a sound, but we do have a subgenre of rap that is leading right now, and it's not mine.
That's a conversation I have.
You know, it's not the one that I belong to. It's not the section. You know what I'm saying? We over here looking like, yeah, y'all go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to champion it. You feel me? But it's not what, you know what I mean? It's not what we do.
It's not your story.
No, not at all. Okay. It's not my story at all. So it always is better out of town because like in Orlando, Tallahassee, Miami, like I've been able to shake hands and rap for these people and they be like, bro, what the fuck? You sound just like blah, 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 blah. First of all, I sound like me. So another reason why it's easier to network outside of Jacksonville is because Jacksonville has a certain kind of gatekeeping in a sense. There are these gatekeepers here that think they hold more weight than they do. And I would love to name names. You know that's my style, but I'm not going to.
If I was in the gym working out, listening to this podcast right now, I'd be intrigued.
It's wild, bro. Like I think a lot of people who are these quote unquote gatekeepers, because I believe gatekeeping it's necessary. I do think it's necessary, but you have to accomplish something to like be able to gatekeep. Like, you know what I mean? If you ain't did shit and you like, nah, that ain't coming. Like, nigga, what have you done? Like,
don't gatekeep for no reason.
Don't gatekeep for no reason. It don't make sense to, you know, but if you have a certain, like, I feel like Willie Evans could gatekeep. Okay. But he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. We met him when we came out of Nordstrom that one day.
Right.
He can gatekeep. He performed at Coachella. He could be like, yeah, no, y'all ain't really like that on stage.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of positive about Willie Evans.
Bro, and he's so cool. Like, he's one of the coolest people I've ever met. One of the more successful Jacksonville artists I've ever met. As far as being on stages, of course. Like, you know what I'm saying? You perform at Coachella, my nigga, like, yeah. Like, huh? That's different.
But you don't believe that gatekeeping is a played out ideology?
No.
That in all actuality, the way to further the culture would be to share the information that you have available.
You share the
somebody such as Willie does.
I think sharing information to people who are you see moving the culture forward, that makes sense. But just giving it to anyone just because they have a little bit of talent, that don't really, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't, you can't put words together and expect for me to just give you information. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't subscribe to that. I think, like, if Willie Evans were to see a so-and-so and just willingly give him information off of, and then that turned into nothing, he just wasted his breath.
Yeah, but what if that turned into something?
Yeah, we can all do what ifs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's the idea there is the what if it turned into nothing. But for me, for the most part, even a glimmer of talent, and because really at the end of the day, talent doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It really matters about persistence. So a glimmer of talent and somebody that knows they're going to be persistent, that has not even necessarily shown, but is adamant about being persistent, deserves the same information as somebody that's gifted on all levels that's been doing it for years.
I was just going to say, like,
I don't agree.
What are you physically robbed of by giving information that might not be utilized?
What do you mean?
What are you being robbed of?
No, you're not going to be robbed of nothing. I don't think that there's robbery there. I just think that if we're going to give information to people, like, because me personally, I give information to everybody because I have this, and I can only speak for me personally. I have this mindset of, I'm not doing what I'm doing because I have more information than you. I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm better than you, talent wise. You feel me? So a glimmer of talent isn't enough for me. Like, you know what I mean? You got to actually be that and persistent. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to check the boxes. Like, check them shits. Not just like, You know what I'm saying? Oh, he does a little bit here and then he's super persistent. Like, no, fuck that. You need to be nice. Like, you know what I mean? For me to just want to give you certain type of like info. Like, you know what I mean?
I do respect that. Although I think in other situations, in other fields, you and I both have been given information and we're not even on the, you know, peak of being in the same spectrum as the teacher.
Oh, no, absolutely. No, absolutely. We have been
skills
fortunate.
at Silkies.
We have been fortunate.
That's a perfect example.
I literally thought you was talking about podcasting. That's the bullshit.
That too. In any life skill that you or myself might not be good at, that we've been given information, people aren't gauging our, our worth, so to speak, to give us that information.
And you know what's crazy? Like, our talent may not have been as high. Don't get me wrong, but the willingness and the commitment and the ability to retain certain information and like the, you know what I'm saying, that's always on a high level.
It is.
You feel me?
I just don't want to discourage anybody that might be listening at any level. You might see a camera, have the money to get that camera, have the money to get that mic, or you know what I mean, you might like rapping, but you know, you might not have ever dipped your toe in it. And are you discouraging that soon to be creative from following that path?
Let me once again reiterate my purpose and my goal for rapping.
Okay.
My goal for rapping is either to encourage or discourage.
Okay.
I get the same feeling of joy from both. I want you to hear me and be like, damn, I gotta go get in the studio. Or hear me and be like, damn,
I gotta leave the studio.
I gotta get out of here. There's nothing I can do with him.
Okay.
Both of those give me the same kind of joy.
I respect that type of artist.
So that's, let me, you know what I mean? When you say I'm not trying to discourage it, I don't identify with that.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what type of time I'm on. But to your point, someone who has not picked up the camera or something like that, or bought or is thinking about buying a camera, hadn't bought a camera, thinking about buying a mic, hadn't bought a mic, go somewhere where somebody is using a camera and using a mic and you use it and see what the fuck you can do. There's people out here who will let you do these things for a small fee. If you don't have the eye, if you can't write a song, if you can't write a verse or put a fucking good bar together, fuck that. Like, stop. Get out of the way.
Let it be known that project and reflects opinions do not reflect.
No, they don't. They do not reflect the actual overall theme of the podcast or its members. No, this is all just me. I'm very...
That shows how passionate you are about your craft and
absolutely.
Conscientious.
It's either get right or get the fuck out of the way for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just too many fucking people in the way. This is very oversaturated market. It's a very oversaturated industry. You know what I'm saying? There are people here who are making timeless music. I feel like Love Culture, we make timeless music, music that you can listen to any given moment, point, whenever. But at the same time, I feel like there are people who are just in the fucking way, thinking that they can just do some shit because they can rhyme cat, hat, and bat, and like think that shit is just okay. Like, you know what I mean? You're not about to get that shit off on me. Like, no. Let me show you that this shit is different. Let me show you that what you do and what we do are very different. You know what I mean? There are levels to this shit. Like, when Self tried, shout out my brother Self, when he tried to battle me, you know what I'm saying? And we went song for song, like diss track for diss track. I smoked him because you only come over here to like visit. I live over here.
Is that boy still rapping?
That boy's still rapping. He should still rap. He's a good rapper, but he don't live over on this like aggressive flows, flipping niggas' names and like dissing shit. Like, he don't live over there. I live over there.
Where Self live at?
Self live over in the song making world where he produced the beat and he does, you know what I'm saying, XYZ. Like, you know what I mean? He may have started over here, but when you move from over here, you lose a little bit. You lose a little bit of your edge. You know what I mean? And if you ain't got that edge to somebody who lives on edge, it's not the same. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Small rant. I'm sorry. I'm worked up from earlier. Sorry.
It's a neighborhood for everybody. I respect it.
Man, fuck them niggas. Not Self. I love Self. But fuck the rest of these niggas. Anywho.
What else you got on your chest?
You said you had something to get off your chest.
I just wanted to mention the nostalgia that comes from going to your neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, for the white tee.
Right.
Nice.
That's all that I have.
Oh, I saw you at the Boyz II Men concert recently.
You did. It was really exciting. My girl was able to help me get backstage or, front of the road passes to literally be right up under them getting content.
Right.
It was really good to see her shine in her element as well. She just made a career change.
Nice.
That naturally coincides with who, she is, her personality. Mm-hmm. So that was really encouraging to see. And then it's always good to see. I need to spend more time thinking about that and paying homage to it. But being able to see so many professionals and creatives that I know on some type of personal level in a recreational space just enjoying themselves, it's not something you really get to see. Creatives don't always get to meet up in recreational places, and when we do, it can also turn business. But just to keep it short, just to be able to see people that when they leave here, they're going back to grind. I love to see it. As reserved as I might be in energy, I'm not always trying to hold a conversation with everybody that I know. Right. But it's just really good to see people that are doing something in the city.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really cool to see you in your element, her in her element, like Tony, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was just moving around doing different things while I'm in the concert enjoying the show. I saw you. I was like, no, come closer to the stage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get you, like, right there. Like, you know what I mean? But I saw Tony, like, moving within that little media space. Like, that was really cool. Like, all of that type of shit is just like, look at this shit. Like, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
And I want to exercise my role in expanding my community to people that might feel outside of it. I've always kind of felt like an outsider, even though I've been deeply entrenched in communities, just because in my head I'm an introvert. I'm deeply in my thoughts, and people are usually interested in that. But when you come out of that shell and you let people, live in your living room, so to speak, and you just widen, your space to other people, great results. I wouldn't be where I'm at if I hadn't let people do that for me, and if people didn't take the interest to not gatekeep, or to notice that this person is a little bit more reserved, but here's some information that might help along your journey.
But I think where you're misinterpreting what I'm saying is I don't there's something you're not catching. The talent level that you have is super fucking high.
I appreciate that.
So even a gatekeeper who is gatekeeping would see that and be like, oh, no, you come on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you come on. Your persistence is high. Your calendar stays booked. Like, you know what I'm saying? You do your fucking thing. Like, so that don't misinterpret what I'm saying, because you are who you say you are, you know?
Feel that.
And when people see it, it's just, that's him.
Right.
That's
something I just brought up to my lady the other day. Like, I can't even say I stumbled across my website, but I took the time to look at my website
I stumbled across
somebody
my
else. I took the time to look at my website outside of, editing it. And I just had a quick moment of clarification. Like, if I saw that person out in public at an event, I would probably want to speak to him and, at least tell him something about his work.
Exactly.
I'd be excited to meet them. So that really was it
was eye-opening.
It was humbling. It was eye-opening. But it also, I was telling my lady, like, I need to come out of myself a little bit more and be more receptive to people that see me out in public.
You don't really have to, though.
She was like, you do a pretty good you have a pretty good balance of being private and social. But it just made me appreciate that I do have some sort of skill to talk about if people, run into me in person.
And I think that's something that that's always really crazy, because even working at work, people will come in and be like, yo, you were at the where do I know you from? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that happens all the time. It's like, oh, you were at that festival, you were on stage, what are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, like,
shit,
come to the next show. Shit,
yeah.
And so I'm just that type of those type of interactions where you're not even may not even be in the element that you want to be in, but people recognize your talent and recognize where they last saw you, recognize where it's coming from, and they want to be a part of it. You don't have to be extroverted because your talent speaks for itself. Your talent is what you wear. Your talent is like the extroverted part of you, because but that's what I'm talking about. That's literally why gatekeeping is important. Like, you know what I mean? Because a nigga if I'm a gatekeeper, you got to rap for me right now. Go in your mind, find a written, and I need to hear it.
Right.
Show me something that you spent time on. Show me a picture that you edited. You know what I'm saying? And that you took, and let's see what we can talk about. Because if you have this talent and you moving like this, because if I'm a gatekeeper and you rap for me, and then I say, okay, that was crazy, do it again. And you got if you got 3 solid verses,
You might get signed to that.
you hear me? That means that you have the persistence. That means that you have you know what I'm saying? You know what you're doing. You know what I mean? You know where you want to go. You have a certain type of goal. That's why I think gatekeeping is important. Because if you put a person who has accomplished a certain type of like, whatever, a certain type of success, whatever we want to call that. But, you know, you put them in that position to be able to take people on and then show them the way of that, you know what I mean? And just bring it on up and then blow it on up. If it ain't somebody who's talented, persistent, and and super fucking checks these boxes, and not like just partially, bruh, it's a win-win situation. That's why it's important.
I like it. I like that perspective.
See, I think from our side of the industry, it's very much a many hands make light work, and a lot of times the so-called gatekeepers don't want to open the door, no matter how talented, because they feel as though they deserve to be where they are, and if they open the door for me, I'm gonna take their job. So I think that's where like possibly the idea of a gatekeeper might differ.
Got you.
Because they're very much closed-doored. Because the more talented you are, the even more closed-doored they are to what it is you have coming.
But that's pussy.
But that's how those gatekeepers behave.
So,
and then a lot of times,
go ahead.
Old heads, you have...
I was just about to comment on that.
You have one that is going to take you under their wing and guide you in the direction and the path you need to be. And then you have the other one that says, you'll never get what I got. You're too young, you're too stupid, you're too grown.
I do think that those people more so than not exist here.
Right. They exist there.
Which one?
They exist.
Which one? The old head that he was speaking of?
The latter of the one he was talking about.
Okay.
The one who's not really like receptive to the young person, who kind of shuns that young person off, or
I'd have to say both.
No, there are both. I just think more of the latter exists for my field. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the gatekeepers here, quote unquote, them niggas can't even rap that well. Them niggas is not that nice.
I was not aware how much smoke is in the rapping community.
Oh, it's a lot of...
Not even rapping, just music, period.
Our specific genre, there's always this underlined smoke. Always this underlying smoke. And don't get me wrong...
Remind the audience what genre?
Oh, you know niggas that break concrete with words. You know what we do.
Concrete breakers.
Pretty much. There's always this underlying like static. You know what I mean? Between myself specific, because I probably started. I'm not gonna hold you. I probably started. It's probably my like whatever. But the underlying static between us and them. You know what I'm saying? As far as people who come before us. But like it's always like they want to shake hands, they want to talk. Then it's like, well, what you doing? You know what I mean? Like after I got on stage and started talking crazy, like now it's just kind of like, yeah, you feel like you that. She's like, nigga, yes.
Why would you not want somebody to feel like they that?
Like, yes,
if
I do.
If it's not harming other people,
I'm gonna feel like that. I'm gonna feel like I'm that if I'm harming other people as well.
That's where I usually cut it myself personally. For my
encourage or discourage.
I get that. I'm big on the way that I am, either encouraging or discouraging somebody to be the way that they are. But I respect where you're coming from with it.
Right.
I feel like I can't really say I run into gatekeepers in my industry.
But you could be
visual arts. I could be one, but that's not. I don't have time to be one, and that's not what's in my mind to be. The people that I could kind of relate, because I feel like they're usually old heads, like Kyle said. Wade Saylor,
Kyle, it's fine. Yeah.
But I feel like the people that I've run across, they just want to make sure that you're adamant about your own time not being wasted, or so that, you know what I mean, the time that they spend investing in you with information isn't wasted.
Facts.
And that's respectable.
That's very respectable.
That's a bar that you have to at least reach in, work ethic,
right?
Timeliness and other things.
Which is why the issue that we're having right now is like even crazier because that's literally what they're doing, making sure that one, they're not wasting their time, and two, you're not people that waste yours.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it puts like
that just lets you know business is about to flow smoother before it starts.
Yeah, exactly. And that's always kind of crazy to, and that's why I get so like frustrated with certain things because like I know that our brand and you know what I'm saying, what we go through and the things that we do is so legitimate to where if anybody has that bad taste of bad business in their mouth, that's always going to bother me. Like, you know what I'm saying? As Absolutely. A man, you should always be about good business, Definitely. In my opinion. Definitely. Like, you know what I mean? And you should just always do good business no matter what is, you should always be on time. You should always do these certain things because at the end of the day, that's what your legacy is going to be. You know what I mean? If anybody will tell you about me, bro, I like being on time. You know what I'm saying? I like being the first person there because I need to see what the fuck is going on.
That's one of the first adjectives I have to recite about you is you're a very timely person.
Man, I try to be, bro. Timeliness is next to godliness, in my opinion, because divine timing will always be there. And if one of us makes it there to be able to scope the scene for everybody else, and if everything is fucked up, I can tell everybody, go home, don't come out here. I'll make that L. I'll take that L and that sacrifice to be out there. I drove out there by myself. Ain't nobody riding the car with me. Drove out there with merch in hand, like, you know what I'm saying? Pulled up to the joint to scope it out, see what's going on. Shot a video of like how the setup is, where we gonna be. Like, I'd make myself available to do these type of things because I know that timeliness is not on everyone's mind and everybody isn't always able to be timely.
I'm so proud of you, man. Yeah, I'm so proud of you.
Why?
Because that's not something that just happens on accident. Like,
no, I make that a point.
There might be other things that I'm not proud of you in, but for you to be proficient and consistent in the areas that you stay consistent and proficient in, that's conscientiousness. Yeah. That's intentional.
Yeah,
and that's not easy for. I believe any creative that might be watching or any creative that we know might be able to agree, but our brains are so all over the place, so ADHD-like and type. That's something that you have to literally care about and continue to work on to continue delivering.
Facts.
And that's something that you do.
Yeah, no, I try to make it to where like, and I hate when people make it to places before I do. You feel me? Because I don't think you did the due diligence of like looking through everything, asking the right questions. Right. Like, you know what I mean? I got to the show recently. I walked around. I'm talking to vendors. I'm talking to everybody. So who's in charge of what? Who Who brought you out here? You know what I'm saying? What you selling? You feel me? I need to know what's up because at the end of the day, like if our name is attached to this, we need to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, things are moving in a certain direction with our name being attached to this. I don't want Kyle, I don't want you to ever come out to something if it's halfway done or something like that, because how is that going to look to, how are we going to look to you if we're a part of something half-assed?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, damn, they just do half-ass shit? That's crazy. What, they just do that for a bag? Like, that's wild. Like, you know what I mean? Which is why it pisses me off, because then there's no impact there. We're not making an impact on the people around us, or we're not making an impact. And then the morale lowers. You know what I'm saying? If I want to hire you all the time and I want to put you on, you know what I'm saying? What's it called? Not salary, but my words are escaping
Retainer?
me. Retainer. Thank you. You're right. He didn't know either. If I want to put you on retainer, like, you know what I'm saying? You're just using us for a bag because we're half-assing everything. So you're going to half-ass the work. So your morale is going to be low working with us.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a domino effect all down the line. Absolutely. So when I get to places early and scout them out, and then I have an attitude about these certain places, it's not because I'm just genuinely ego-based, and it's probably very ego-based, don't get me wrong, but I'm also thinking about us as a whole. You know what I'm saying? What we look like as a whole to be in these spaces.
That cup is definitely half full of ego, but the other half is genuine care about how the group is perceived. And that's why I've always continued conversation with you. Because you're genuinely an egotistical artist, but you're also just as equally, if not more, passionate and proficient about your art being where it's at and it getting better.
Absolutely.
And the people around you that you touch yourself to.
Absolutely. Because, go ahead, bro.
I was going to say, as creatives, there has to be a certain point of us that doesn't give a fuck what other people think to be able to do what we do. However, reputation is the only thing that's going to carry us through our career.
Exactly. That's bro. He just said a mouthful just there. Exactly, bro. And the reputation is really what's one of the like literally. It's talent, relationships, reputation.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. If we known as the people who get on stage and fuck shit up every single place we go, if the stage not able for us to be, for it to be fucked up, like, you know what I'm saying? Why are we there? If y'all ain't got 5 mics, why are we there? Like, certain shit just don't make sense to me.
Every group needs somebody that, hopefully all members, but every group needs one member at least to be on top of it, just like that.
Well, I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, we all care about love culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm just a stickler for a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And as we elevate forward, things have to change. Like, even I think I said on here before, like, we have a conversation like, yo, we got to do our shows better. We got to perform better. We got to do certain things better. As our bag increases, we need to increase as well as the show that we're delivering.
Y'all already lit, man. But
exactly. We can be lit on a base basis because that's normal for us. But nah, fuck that. I want to be even more... I want to go even crazier. Like, you know what I mean? On stage. You know, like, that type of shit is important to me, man. Like, for real. Sorry, I'm literally in a.
I love it.
My mind is fucked up today.
Hell yeah.
My mind is fucked up today. So there's so much shit going on. There's so many different things happening. I'm trying to get with like producers to like, because I haven't found any beats to rap to, and it makes me feel like I have creator's block, and it's like I don't have creator's blocks. I just haven't found the sound. So like I'm all pent up aggression right now, like a bunch of pent up aggression.
So touching back on that, what we mentioned earlier, networking versus in town or outer city.
Sorry, go ahead.
Are there producers that you're drawn to out of town that you're looking forward to working with?
No. I love our in-town producers. I love Freddie Bricks. I love L.O.V.E. I love, you know what I'm saying, all of the producers that I bluff God. There's so many different producers that Kyle, you know, there's a beat that Kyle like put in the drive that I'm writing to right now.
I was today years old when I found out Kyle's a producer.
He
just now.
He doesn't even
Kyle produces.
Yeah, he just dabbles though. But it's something that like I really like caught a vibe to, and I was like, oh shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a little bit of shit off. I was like, I'll come back to it. You know what I mean?
I had no idea.
Yeah, he's made a couple.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so like it's just, you know, Trash Beats Allen, Love Culture producer.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? Like he's, you know, it's just Spirit. when you hear certain Spirit, yeah, Rob, like all of these people produce. So there's all of these different sounds, but when things aren't clicking for you right now, like it's just like, damn, I gotta go find something different. Like there has to be a different sound. So I'm looking for like, I don't know right now. It's just a sound like a spacious loop that I can hear in my head that I can just like speak freely on.
That's so interesting. I hope we don't go over time, but that just gave me the next thought, how your art isn't codependent on other artists, but I know that I can immediately, I guess it might be somewhat the same, but right. I could, if
but
I have a vision. This is why
a lot of people like produce their own beats though.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just don't have the patience.
I got you.
You feel me? Like, I don't have the patience to learn that skill. You know, I want to rap and that's it. I want to, you know what I mean? Like, people hear me like, it's like, yo, you got something to record? I always have something to record. You know what I mean? Anytime we go into the studio, we do Love Culture shit. Like, it's like, okay, cool. What else? It's like, can I lay a track? Like, you know what I mean? Because I always have something to record. I have like a whole project written now. You know what I mean? But I don't want to do that project until certain ducks are in a row. You know what I mean? I don't want to do shit until I make sure Love Culture shit gets off the ground for real. Tell me make sure this gets off the ground for real. Tell me make sure Taylor Two Swordsmen get off the ground for real.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's certain things that like I will self-sacrifice because these things will propel me forward. So when I drop my own solo shit, there are way more eyes on it than, you know what I mean, than anything else. Like, so
naturally.
Yeah.
We definitely got to dive into that process behind the scenes one day.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I wasn't even aware that, you know, you said you got a whole project out without having just produced music to it.
No. It's music to it. Yeah. Okay. No, it's beats and whatnot to it. Definitely. Okay, you know what I mean? But you know what's crazy to me? Damn, I don't want to go over time either. But a thing that really bothers me as far as like producers go is how they try to like little brother you in a sense. Like, I'm all for producers getting paid. I'm all for producers getting their shit off. But it's certain producers that'll be like, nah, you can't do this unless this. no, you can't do this unless this. Which, you know what I mean?
Clarify a little bit more unless this.
So,
Right.
no. Peep real quick, because it sounds crazy off the rip.
I totally understand, but that is hilarious.
No, peep this real quick. So I actually was in conversation with a producer recently.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, no, I see you this beat, but like if it don't come out in a couple weeks, then it's, you know what I'm saying? I don't want. And it's just like, nigga, what?
You're right. I'm trying
feel
to find a reason that would be viable.
Don't get me wrong. People get beats and hoard them.
Yeah.
I do that. I
Okay,
get beats and hoard them, and you'll hear them when they're ready to go. You know what I'm saying? But for somebody to try to put a time limit on your creative process, it's like you trying to little brother me. You trying to like, you know what I'm saying? Put me in a situation to where I have to create this within a certain amount of time and give you money for this beat. That's fucking crazy to me.
It's because this beat might be a hot beat that could sell to another artist has maybe nothing has going on and they'll get it out faster.
Let me tell you my arrogance once again. I understand where my arrogance comes in, and this is where my arrogance comes in. I'm nice without a beat. I will cut a fucking beat off and fucking rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm nice without that shit. I don't need your beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just to be on streaming services and shit like that and have people like, I will do this fucking verse a cappella and it will still be just as tight.
Say that.
You feel me? I don't need that shit. But yeah, let's make a bop. You know what I'm saying? Let's make a joint. But you're not about to play me. Like, that's crazy. That's where my own narcissistic like tendencies come in.
I think that's a very good measure of who you know you are.
Yeah. But like I've like literally like stopped like everything by saying I said yo like loud as I can and start fucking rapping without a mic, without any of that shit. Like I'll stop a whole party. You know what I'm saying? Of people. I've done it on multiple occasions, like where people be like, yo, we got Flash doing this. I get up on stage, check on this mic. I don't need this fucking mic. I said, yo.
Yeah, Flash was very, very agitated at one venue that we were at recreationally one night because he wasn't rapping.
Oh my God.
Extremely agitated.
And then I came back to that same venue like weeks later, maybe
Did
a month later, yeah, and smoked it.
Okay.
Like, yeah, no, literally I did literally that. Check the mic. I don't need this fucking mic. I said yo and got into like a verse and like, you know what's crazy? This is how I know I be that nigga. One more ego trip and then we're done. This is how I know I be that nigga. I get on that because the whole night people were like trying to get their little poems off and stuff like
not
that.
Little
like
poems. Don't minimize.
All right, fine. People were getting their poems off.
Please do not name drop.
Okay, I'm not gonna name drop. People were getting their poems off. They were doing their thing, and like the whole night you heard respect the mic, respect, because people are talking in the background. People are ordering drinks. This nigga hollering at a bitch just in the background. They just talking. You know what I'm saying? And it was like they weren't listening to these people on stage. I was like, damn, this is funny. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, they don't respect you. So when it was my time to go on, I was like, watch this. I get up and like I just, and when I start, nobody's speaking. Nobody, you can hear a pin drop in between like my stanzas. If I hadn't transitioned it right into the next one, if there's a little pause, a pin could have dropped and you would have heard that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's silence. Shut the fuck up while I'm rapping.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking. Like understand like where I'm coming from. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is energy up here. Peep it. Man, look.
I respect that. I don't respect that I didn't get an invite, but I respect what happened.
See, and you know what's crazy? I got an invite at the last minute. Anyways, this is Project and Reflect, the podcast for creators by creatives. I'm Flash the Samurai. That was Rakim, aka Rakimism. Got him the fuck out of here. I'm just gonna take his drink and peace.